Good morning, scholars. Today is Tuesday, April 28th, 2020. All right, scholars, we've got two jobs to do today for math. We have our problem of the day and our SWAN math. All right. Scholars, we've been talking about the 4 steps in solving word problems. So I put them onto our board so that we can kind of think about them, see them, and remind ourselves of our steps every time that we're doing a word problem. So step number 1 we know is read the problem. Remember, we're readers not just to make sure we see the words, but we want to understand what's happening in the problem. Number 2, I used a new word instead of highlight today. I use the word annotate. So here's a symbol for annotate. We can be highlighting when we annotate. Sometimes we take notes when we annotate. We're doing work when we're annotating. So step 2 is annotate the key words and numbers. Step 3. In step 3, we have to make an equation. Remember, we want to make sure we understand what it is that we're doing with those words that we picked out and those keywords and those key numbers. So we created an equation to help us solve the problem. And step number 4, we have to do our job. That means we have to actually answer the question that they give us. That's our job, right? Okay, let's jump into today's problem. Today's problem says, well, let's start with our, what do we do first, actually? Read the problem. So step 1, read the problem. Sammy had 82 points to spend in the student store. He used 34 points. How many points did he have left? Okay, so we did job number 1, and now we're going to do job number 2. We're going to annotate the key words and numbers. Now, I'm going to do things a little bit different today, scholars. Instead of just jumping right into the key words and numbers, I'm going to draw a picture of what's going on because that's part of me understanding it. So I see Sammy. So here's Sammy. This is who I see Sammy to be there. This is Sammy. So what's happening with Sammy? Well, he has 82 points. So here's his 82 points. And he's going to use those in the school store. So here's the school store. Okay, so you can see here's Sammy. Here's the school store. Oh, the student store. Excuse me. Student store. But he uses, what do you think about that word use? He's using it. That means he had to give them to somebody to use them up. So he's giving the 34 points to the store. And now we're wondering, what does he have left? Okay, now I'm going to jump in and find those keywords and numbers. So I see the key number. Let's see, Sammy had 82 points to spend at the student store. He used 34 points. And now we need to find out how many he has left. So let me find those keywords. I see used. We know that's a keyword because it's telling us that he doesn't have them anymore. If you use something, it's gone. And then I see that our job is to find out how many points does he have left. Remember, how many does he have left is that keyword too, because he gave something away and now we have to find the difference. Okay, so we did job number 2. We thought about what's happening here. Now we can create our equation. Job number 3, create an equation. So I'm going to use my numbers. I have 82. And I have 34. What do we do with those? We said he used some. That means he had to give them away. So we know that's subtraction. And here's our job. We have to find out how many does he have left. All right, let's build our place value chart, scholars. T and O, and I'm going to give you my 82. 2 ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tens. And I want to subtract 4. Oh, I don't have 4 ones. I better unbundle. So I'm going to move that over and let's have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ones. So that's gone. Now I can do my job. I need to subtract 1, 2, 3, 4 ones and 1, 2, 3 tens. Okay, now we can find the difference. I have the difference of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ones and 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. So my difference is 48. 82 minus 34 equals 48. Or how many points did Sammy have left? Sammy had 48 points left. Okay, scholars, it's really important. Even though we're working on subtraction all week long, we can't just say, okay, well, I'm going to take those numbers and subtract them. No, because sometimes our word problems are going to trick us, and you are about to be third graders, and those word problems are going to get even trickier. So it's really important that you get that picture in your head. That's why I spent a little more time on our problem of the day today. Okay, now in our SWON math, we have been working with our arrays. And so scholars, remember, when we work with arrays, we are really thinking about a group of objects that are in rows and columns. So what's a row? Well, rows go from left to right. This is really important because when we're thinking about rows and we're counting those up, it's important to know that those are the ones that are going to be going from left to right. And when we count them up, we're thinking about how many straight rows we have going across. Okay, and then we also know that we're working with columns. And columns, remember, go top to bottom or up and down. That's important for us to think about too, because when we're counting columns and a problem asks us to count them, we have to be thinking how many objects do we see going up and down in a row. Now, the important thing for us to remember is that when we think of an array, it has to be a rectangle. It has to be a rectangle. The number in each row has to be the same. The number in each column has to be the same. So I can't have an array if I just have 4 going across and 3 going down. No, I have on the side, and I don't have the rest. It has to be a full rectangle. That makes it an array. Otherwise, it's not. It's just another shape. Today's job in SWON, we're going to be drawing our own arrays. We've been doing some of that, but today we're going to take out the graph that they've been giving us. And you're going to see something like this, where you're going to be given the number of columns or the number of rows and the total number of objects. So I want to make sure we know first what a row is, what a column is, and then how we can figure out the total number of objects that are going to be in there. So let's get started with these examples. So in this first example, it says we're going to draw an array with 3 columns and 9 total objects. So when we're thinking about columns, remember columns go from top to bottom or up and down. That means we're going to start our numbers, the number that we need, 3, going across the top because we're going to go down, up and down. So I'm going to use my marker here, and I'm going to think, because they're columns, I'm going to write my 1, 2, 3 because I know they have to go up and down. So, and how many do I want? I want 9 total objects. Well, if I want 9 total objects in here, I'm not sure how many that's going to be. So you know what? The way I know that I'm going to have 3 even columns is I'm going to just draw my objects in my columns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See how I have 9 total objects now? I have 3 columns that go up and down, and I have 9 total objects. Now let's see, how many are in each of my columns? I have 3 in my first column, I have 3 in my second column, and I have 3 in my last column. And I have a total of 9. So remember, all of our columns have to have the same amount, or it's not an array. So if I wanted to make one with 3 columns, but let's say let's move some around. I have 3 columns, but I put another one down here. Let's see, so now I have 4 and 3 and 2. Is that an array? No, because arrays have to be, they have to make rectangles. We can't have different numbers in each column. So remember, arrays will always have the same number in every column and every row. So we have 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 9. So our equations will always be made of the same addend. Okay, let's take a look at our second example. Our second example now says that we have 4 rows. Do you see the 4 rows here? Okay, so when we have rows, remember rows go from left to right, left to right. So our rows go this direction. So when we create them, we start at the left side, 1, 2, 3, 4, because we know that our rows are going to go this way. And we want a total of 12 objects. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and fill it in. So guys, remember we want 12 objects, so we're not going to count this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, because we want them to be even. So if we start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's going to help to make sure we have the same amount in every single row. Because now we can count on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, look at that. How many did we have in each row? We have 3 in each row. See, look at, if I went this way, I might have made too many, but I want to stop because I have a total of 12 now. So now we're counting how many are in each row. I see 1, 2, 3 in each row. I see another 3 in this row. I see another 3 in this row and another 3 in this row. And that gave me a total of 12 objects. So even though I'm counting across this way, my equation's going this way because I'm just showing how many are in each. Okay, stars. When you're doing your math, it's important that you take some time to think, am I making an array? Is it a group of objects that has the equal amount in rows and columns? When it tells me to use columns, are they up and down? If they ask me to make rows, am I making them go across? That's going to be our job in math today. Have an awesome day of learning.